currently have 12 tanks in Brawl Stars, and in this video I earned 10,068 mastery points. I started it off by playing Brawl Ball on Retina and I won my first game fairly easily, but in my next game I already came across a very big problem: Clancy. This brawler just destroys tanks and it was pretty much not possible to fight back. We obviously lost, and from this point I was winning every game without a Clancy, but losing very fast if there was one. But that didn't stop me from making some insane plays, like for example this team wipe. Also, I was finally consistently performing this goal scoring trick. It's basically not defendable. But it wouldn't be a day without a bad random of the day. This guy won it all. Anyways, in the meantime I reached Gold 1 and just kept on brainlessly playing from this point till I stopped at 14,235 mastery points. Day 2 started off with a new map, Spider Crawler. It was very fun to play and I was doing this super play pretty much every game. The push was going great and I hit Gold 2 relatively quick. Anyways, I still kept on playing till I hit the mastery cap at 20,235 points. Day 3 started off with obviously a new map. Clancy was still a problem, but the crab guy wasn't the worst thing to happen this day. Look at this dynamite. If he didn't play, I couldn't care less, but the fact that people queue up just to do this is insanely shameless. Anyways, there was also a funny kidbug I encountered. I don't know how it's even possible, and after hitting 900 trophies I got invited to join this team. We were playing the dumbest comp in the game and obviously winning was fairly easy. I had one crazy pop-off moment which probably isn't possible without Kate, but it was so satisfying I had to show it. And in this very skillful way I managed to get all the way to 1004 trophies. I was getting close to Gold 2, I was just one game away from Primo Mastery. It was against Clancy, Dynamite and Bibi. We had a great start. Bubblegum woman ran into me and I got the kill. After she respawned I bullied her again, and after that I went after the Dynamite man. Then my team went for the ball and got an early score. After that Bibi tried her luck again, but it did not work. Then I went for the Dynamite, but the crab guy got me. After respawning I got the Bubblegum woman again, then gadgeted Clancy and scored. This got me to Gold 3 and I am now officially touching your El Luchador, whatever that means. So now let's move on to the next brawler, which is Daryl. This push starts here, 999 trophies and 15,003 mastery points. I started playing Heist on Safe Zone and it was surprisingly going well. I managed to win my first game and got to 1007 trophies. After that I lost and I was on the win-lose cycle for a while. In that time I was practicing the 9k damage trick and I was doing it pretty consistently. And after a while I hit the mastery cap at just 16,385 points, as most of them were used on Primo. Day 2 was very simple. I was playing Knockout and the strategy was simple. Just camp till you get your super and go in. Sometimes it was working insanely well, but sometimes not so much. I was quickly able to hit Gold 2 and after that I was just doing the same thing for hours. But when I got close to the mastery cap I decided to switch to Paint Brawl, and let me tell you, this wasn't a good decision. Daryl is simply not built for this mode and I did it so I could complete this horrible quest. Once I completed it I opened the drops and I surprisingly got rewarded. Not long after that I hit the mastery cap at 22,385 points. On day 3 Heist was back, so I used it to my advantage. Game plan was very simple, just base race every game. Matches were extremely fast most of the time and I got to one game away from mastering Daryl. It was against Primo, Colt and Nita. Started off the same as every game. I farmed my super and then instantly went for the save. Enemies left me, so I was able to deal 38% of the save myself, but at one point they finally went for our save and I got on theirs, bringing it down to 13%. I thought that this was going to be an easy win, but my teammates made sure to make it close. Daryl isn't a good brawler on defense and Gun Guy got some hits which were enough to win them the game. Of course he had to shamelessly spin. Luckily I got star player, which was enough to get me to Gold 3 and I am now touching your pirate. So now let's move on to the next brawler, which is Ash. This push starts here, 915 trophies and 16,007 mastery points. I knew this push would be fun. And it was. If I had a good matchup I was just running through opponents and I quickly hit Gold 2. But this wasn't a long day. I stopped playing at just 18,844 points. Day 2 was a lot different though. I was still playing on Gemgrab, but servers were not working properly. In some games my whole team didn't connect, in others the whole enemy team, and sometimes nobody apart from me. But because of that I was winning a lot more games and I somehow got to one game away from rank 30 with just randoms. Unfortunately I got a tick on my team, so we lost. After that I got another chance, but this time my Sandy dropped all the gems and I lost again. Wasn't winnable. Failing 3 times was pretty painful, but I got my 4th chance. I got tick again, so I was ready to let it go, but luckily Supercell servers blessed me and Max on enemy team was a bot. I was just farming the other 2 people and I let my team focus on the Max and we managed to win this game and get to 1003 trophies. What's crazy is that my tick was a power 8, but anyways here's also proof that it was done with just randoms. Also I didn't use play again once. Also he invited me, but I didn't record it, so I'll recreate what happened. It's quite a skill to have 21k free wins and like 10 rank 25s to be honest. Also he still decided to blame the Charlie somehow. But anyways, after a long grind I managed to get to one game away from Gold 3 Ash. It was against Amber, Byron and Fang. In the first seconds of the game I got into their bush and picked up a kill on this poison guy. Then I helped my bull clean up the popcorn merchant, and after that I got their fire woman who dropped all the gems. Then my rats picked up the Byron and I finished the team wipe by 2-tapping Fang. After that we got the countdown and enemies couldn't reset it, which meant I mastered Ash and now I am touching your trash tip. So now let's master another tank, which is Rose. This push starts here, 999 trophies and 8,400 mastery points. I instantly hopped on gem grab on double swoosh and I was already seeing what Rosa is good for, distraction. Against decent players she's pretty easy to shut down, but I was still able to make some plays. We managed to win this game and I got 1009 trophies. But the next game showed me why this push won't be easy. It felt like I couldn't do anything no matter what I tried. And from this point I was just brainlessly playing for hours. Sometimes I made a play, but I mean it's Rosa so I can't even hype it up. I still managed to hit the mastery cap at 14,400 points. Day 2 was a lot better. The map changed to gem 14 and it was much easier to play. All I had to do was just connect bush on either side to mid and then surprise my enemies. In this very skillful way I quickly hit gold 2 and after that I found myself a team. This made this push a lot faster and in the meantime we somehow got to 1k trophies again. And after a few more hours I reached the mastery cap again at 20,400 points. Day 3 started off with a new map, Hard Rock Mine. I honestly thought it was the best gem grab map for her in the rotation, but it turned out the other way. I would face Rico like every single game and playing against him was very painful, but there were also some funny moments. The search started spinning just for him to completely throw the game. And after a few hours I was finally one game away from gold 3. It was against Rico, Sandy and Byron. I started it off by making these bush connections and then I surprised the Poison Man. I got all the gems but Bouncy Robot was following me till the spawn and got me. After respawn I ran through the Sleepy Man but Rico didn't let me go. Then I ran through Sandy again and after I died my team somehow got the countdown which enemies weren't able to reset. That's how I mastered Rosa and I'm now touching your touching Cress. Another title which doesn't work. So now let's move on to the next brawler which is Jack. This push starts here. 894 trophies and 3,402 mastery points. I obviously started by upgrading Jackie to power 11 and decided to go with this build. Then I hopped on Brawl Ball on triple dribble and I started to relearn how this brawler works. At first I was struggling quite a lot because of her range, but once I got used to it I started playing well. Also I was performing this gold scoring trick very consistently, which is really strong. But because I was playing with randoms I wasn't really gaining trophies. Luckily mastery points were slowly going up and I got to silver 2 pretty fast. I was stuck around 900 trophies for hours, but at one point I got a massive breakthrough. Wins were flying in and I got to silver 3 mastery. One game later I somehow bet Spen and 2 friends of mine, which was surprisingly a very easy game against Clancy, Draco and Frank. It started off great, we got a double kill and BB scored. After that I ran through the crab guy and my bubblegum woman got a really clean double kill. Me and the Dynamite Man were able to get another team wipe which finished the game and finally got me to rank 30. Also this is when I finished playing for the day at 6,672 points. Also here's proof it was done with just randoms. Day 2 started off with a quick tilt all the way to 703 trophies. Then I changed the mode to hot zone on parallel plays and it was going deftly. Once I got into their zone it was very easy to stay there, but I didn't play here for long as the map changed, so I went back to Brawl Ball. This time the map was sneaky fields and it turned out to be extremely good. There is a lot of bushes so it was easy to surprise my enemies and games were rather fast. In pretty much no time I got to gold 1 mastery and after a long grind I hit the mastery cap at 12,672 points. On day 3 I was getting tired of looking at my skin, so I decided to buy this one. After that I hopped on Brawl Ball and just started brainlessly playing. I was winning and losing games, not making much progress until I found myself a team. I dropped a lot of trophies, but on the good side I got to gold 2 mastery and hit the mastery cap at 18,672 points. Day 4 was pretty painful and if I had to sum it up it would be this. Nothing much happened during this day, but I discovered that scoring golds can now get you star player, not just stats. I was playing for hours and I thought I was gonna get to gold 3, but I hit the mastery cap at 24,672 points. Day 5 started off terribly. There were SpongeBob modifiers on Brawl Ball. I thought I would have to play without a modifier, but I got blessed from my free meal with the... I strategically started it off by dying, but then I had a good opportunity to score, which was denied by a skillful spatula. After a very boring minute of nothing, we went on a counter attack and got the first goal. Now all we had to do was just hold on for the last few, touching your hashtag at %***. I am so lost. Anyways, let's move on to the next brawler, which is this push starts here. 949 trophies and 8,407 mastery points. I instantly started playing heist and it was going extremely well. Even though I was playing with randoms, we were winning every single game. The plan was very simple. I would just rush to the enemy vault every game and it was working. Sometimes my enemies were a bit questionable, leaving me on the safe with the Berserker star power, but because of that I got to 1000 trophies with a 7-game win streak. After that I was still playing with randoms, but we were losing a lot more. However, I got to gold 1 mastery, still above 900 trophies. After this I found myself a team and games were much easier. Not having to rely on randoms was a nice feeling, and after a bit more grinding I reached the mastery cap at 14,262 points. On day 2 I switched the mode to Brawl Ball. The map was Beach Ball. I was playing with 1v Wonder and it wasn't looking that great at first. We were losing quite a lot and we were changing mates, which didn't help either. As a highlight we found the second Hyra, but in the end we found a good mate, which was of course on Mo. Even though he was just power 10 with no gadget or star power, we were picking up wins and we got Q to rank 30 clans, and quickly got to gold 2 mastery. After that I decided to go for a quick tilt and after it I just played until I hit 18,856 points. On day 3 I still had to play with Q, but this time also with B for the last rank 30 1v Wonder needed. It was going very smoothly and we won every game, getting Q to rank 30 Mo. That meant he now has every rank 30 as a free to play, so you can check out his vid on that. Of course from this point I had to play with randoms, but luckily Big Heist was out. The games were very easy most of the time, but once I had to play against Nawi, which wasn't winnable, but the grind was going well. Also, I discovered that Bull can counter a Kid super. Let me know if it's rare. Anyways, after a few hours, I got to one game away from mastering Bull. It was against Nita, Daryl, and Jesse. I started it off by surprising the barrel guy, which got me my super. That got me to gold 3 mastery, and I am now touching your bulldozer. So now let's master another tank, which is Meg. This push starts here. 929 trophies and 16,791 mastery points. After opening my free meal, I got extremely lucky. I got level 3 Krabby Patty. Looking at my power-ups, I was very fortunate. I haven't played this mode before, and I was very surprised how it works. In my first game, every team had more than 10 cubes. Also, not losing win streak at 3rd place was huge, and it definitely helped me push. After just a few more wins, I got to 1007 trophies and an 11 game win streak, but I didn't stop there. Wins were still coming in, and I got to rank 31 with a 17 game win streak. From this point, I was losing a bit more, but winning was still possible. In the end, after a long grind, I managed to get to rank 32 with randoms, which is quite unserious. However, this is when I was starting to have a lot of problems. Some games I would get teamed on by 6 people, in others people would just sit in the corner and abuse the broken kelp shake strategy for free cubes, and sometimes my mates would just throw the game for absolutely no reason. Of course, he won't get punished for that. I was losing a lot of games and I thought I wasn't gonna be able to get my trophies back. But that was until I started playing with Freddy. We were duo queuing and matches were significantly easier. Maybe not always, but we were making a lot of progress. In no time, I managed to get back to 1100 trophies, and after that we were building up the win streak. After a few more wins, we were already at rank 33, and a win later, I reached the mastery cap at 22,791 points. Obviously, I couldn't stop playing, so we were trying to push higher. Games weren't getting much harder, but we were losing slightly more. However, we managed to push through and we got Freddy to rank 35 Crow, and 2 minutes later I was at rank 34. This mode is actually such a joke, so we have only lost 1 game and I was 1 game away from rank 35. We got a double buster on the team, so we decided to play aggressive. We went for the jump pad play and we landed on a whole team, and we got 1 kill, so we decided to follow them. I played slightly too aggressive, so I went down, but my team luckily had me and got the whole team. After I respawned, we decided to follow this team, and my buster picked up an easy kill on this Squeak. Then my random got a double hit with the gadget, which resulted in a double takedown, and Squeak was in a pretty unfortunate situation. Then we started looking for a last team, and they of course were abusing the cube strat, and we weren't able to get 1st place. Fortunately, it was still enough for my rank 35, which ended the day. Day 2 started off with me tilting my mech. It took me about an hour to get all the way back to 676 trophies, and from this point I was just chilling on much lower trophies. Not much happened here, so I just skipped to being 1 game away from gold 3. It was against Buster, Lily, and the Dynamite. We had a rough start, my Squeak died, and I lost my mecha, because of which we lost the 1st round. In the 2nd round, however, we played a lot slower until I caught this Dynamite man off guard, and now we are in a 2v1, which we won very comfortably. In the 3rd round, we pushed them all the way back to the spawn, and my Squeak did a nice super, and I got the 2nd takedown. Film guy was left alone again, and he folded, which got me to Meg Mastery, and I am now tapping to Power 11 and went with this build. Then I hopped on Knockout on Flaring Phoenix, and I started to learn this brawler. Double damage on max range of his attack felt very weird to play around.